Hi, my name is Paul Knott from Hypnosis Therapy. I'm talking today about common misconceptions about hypnosis. Now, generally people have ideas about hypnosis that they've seen on TV, that they've seen in movies, and very often from entertainment, from stage hypnotists and so on. A lot of people fear hypnosis. They fear that it will expose their secrets, that it'll make them powerless and kind of vulnerable, and they will have no ability to defend themselves or to discriminate right from wrong, and they will be under the kind of control of the hypnotist. Now, all of these are wrong, and I think that forms the central kind of concern that people have with hypnosis. Now, when somebody is hypnotized, they are still very aware of what is going on around them. They are still able to lie. They are still able to say no to whatever, to something that doesn't feel right for them. That's something that goes against their morals, their ethics. Because even though the subconscious mind doesn't discriminate, and the conscious mind, if the person is hypnotized, will be kind of put to the side, it's still there and still aware of what's happening, but it's more of an observer. The person feels more of an observer about what's happening. But so there's two levels of protection that you have when you're hypnotized. One is that your conscious mind is still there and it's observing what's happening. And certainly if somebody tells you to do something that goes vastly against your morals and your ethics, if they tell you to hurt somebody or to steal something or something like that, it will immediately create a reaction. I mean, you will say no. And the two levels of protection are that, one, your conscious mind is still there and you will still understand what is being said. And two, your underlying morals and ethics are a narrative thing. They're a subconscious thing. They're part of your character. They're part of yourself. And these are part of your subconscious. So your underlying self will resist these things. But an interesting question is that, if people come to me, can people be made to do something against their will under hypnosis? And of course the question is like stopping smoking or losing weight. If the person wanted to stop smoking, they would, right? So getting me to stop them from smoking, is it against their will? And it's kind of yes and no at the same time, because what's happening with this person is, on one hand, they do want to stop smoking, but on the other hand, they don't, else they would have. So they're kind of conflicted in a way. What's happening is they know logically, cognitively, that they should stop smoking because it makes sense, it's expensive, it's bad for your health, so on. But secondly, they're addicted, and that's not a rational thing. That's a feeling narrative thing. So it creates this conflict within people that, on one hand, they know they should do something. They know it makes sense logically, they know. But on the other hand, they find it really difficult to do so. So what happens is I can help them with that. But so in a way, it is their will to stop smoking, and it's why they come to me. It's why they pay me, why they do the sessions, because it's what they want to do. And it's a good idea, obviously. So that's it. But the main concerns about hypnosis is that a person will not have any will not be able to say no to what's happening. They will not have any kind of self-control, and that's not true at all. A hypnotist, a therapist, is there to guide the client, to guide the person, to help them. And you may have heard the phrase, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, and that's absolutely true, because it is the client who's becoming hypnotized, it's the client who's relaxing, it's the client who's entering the state, and then the therapist is there to guide them and to kind of show them the way and to help them after that, right? So another question is, can people be hypnotized against their will? Can somebody, just come up to you randomly and hypnotize you? And Sometimes, but if a person is actively resisting hypnosis, you won't be able to hypnotize them. You may have seen street magicians, street entertainers that'll go around and hypnotize somebody, and that's only possible because the person feels comfortable with the situation, because they're fine with that. If a person was actively resisting and they were saying, no, I don't want to do this, then nothing would happen. Another question that people have is, can everybody be hypnotized? And I've been doing this a long time, since 2005, and I have not ever met somebody who can't be hypnotized. A lot of people have this kind of misconception that if somebody's hypnotized, then it means that they're weak, or that they're less intelligent, or that they're lacking strength of mind or will or something. But that's absolutely not the case at all. Although people who are good clients, people who are easy to hypnotize, people that are good subjects, I think that's the term, are generally people who are very creative, people who are very imaginative, people who have good ability to visualize and so on. Those people make the best subjects for hypnosis. Now, the people that are a bit tricky are people who are very analytical, people who are very rational, people who have this perception that it's weakness or something. Those people are difficult to hypnotize, but there are ways around it, and there are different scripts, there's different inductions that can be used for people who are very rational and cognitive. As long as the person can concentrate, as long as the person can imagine, a person can be hypnotized, no doubt about it. Hypnosis is a natural state. It's nothing mystical or esoteric or strange about it. It's pure psychology. It's the way our minds work and our brains work. It's nothing, evil or weird about it. It's a very natural state. It's very much like just before you're about to go to sleep, and you have that sensation of drifting, of lightness, of, you're very comfortable, and you just kind of feel like your mind starts going all over the place and coming up with weird stories and doing stuff like that. That's very much what hypnosis feels like, and you enter that state, naturally, at least twice a day, when you're waking up and when you're going to sleep. There's nothing evil or esoteric about it at all. Another concern that people have is religions. A lot of religions are not comfortable with hypnosis, and there are stories, about people being possessed by demons or whatever. But I've never experienced anything like that myself. I see no reason why that should be a thing, personally. Hypnosis is a tool that is used for therapy, for therapeutic processes to help people have a better life, to get over their whatever problems they're having, multitudes of problems. Hypnosis is very effective for a lot of things. It's a very versatile tool, and very often I'll use hypnosis in conjunction with some other psychological therapeutic tools, especially mindfulness. I quite enjoy mindfulness and hypnotherapy. Those are my two main tools that I use to help people. I think that's about it. A person who's hypnotized will not automatically reveal all of their secrets or their deep, dark, private stuff, their, shame or guilt or bad stuff that they did in the past. Certainly not. All that stuff will not be revealed. Unless it is part of the therapy session, and specifically the therapist tries to go there because it's part of the process. But even then, often clients will resist because they don't want to go into that stuff, And yes, a person can lie under hypnosis. A person is still able to lie And so for example, a person cannot get stuck in hypnosis. Now, this is a concern that people have sometimes. But for example, if I hypnotized a client and I left the room, then a few minutes later they would get bored and they would get up and they would leave. It's very simple. It's nothing. Or also if a client was hypnotized and suddenly there was a fire or something, there would be no problem with that person reacting appropriately to the situation. They would get up and they would, everything would be fine. That wouldn't be a problem. So I think that's about it. If there's any other questions or kind of ideas that people have about hypnosis, I'd be happy to explain them. Thanks very much.